So friends, today, a federal court judge ordered Steve Bannon to report to prison on July 1st to begin serving his sentence. Steve Bannon, meet accountability. Let's talk about that because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, earlier today, I was in court in Washington, D.C., my old stomping grounds, attending a hearing in Steve Bannon's criminal case. You may recall, a couple of years ago now, Steve Bannon was convicted of contempt of Congress. 2 counts. 1, for blowing off a congressional subpoena for testimony, and the other for blowing off a congressional subpoena for documents. Why did Steve Bannon defy these congressional subpoenas? Well, inferentially, it looks like he didn't want to give up Donald Trump. He didn't want to incriminate his man, Donald Trump. And so Steve Bannon was indicted. He went to trial, pleaded not guilty, defended himself, and was convicted in a D.C. minute, not to be confused with a New York minute, convicted by a jury of his peers, and he was sentenced to 4 months in prison. However, Trump-appointed Judge Carl Nichols, who presided over the trial, decided to let Steve Bannon stay out, footloose and fancy-free, pending appeal for the last couple of years now. Why did Judge Nichols do that? Well, Judge Nichols thought that maybe, just maybe, Steve Bannon might have a winning issue on appeal. Turns out he didn't. The D.C. Federal Circuit Court of Appeals, a 3-judge panel, unanimously rejected Bannon's appeal and affirmed his conviction. So today, Judge Nichols, again, had the opportunity to confront the issue of Steve Bannon's confinement, his prison term. And to Judge Nichols' credit, he changed course. A little bit of a course correction by Judge Nichols. Here's the new reporting. This from NBC News. Headline, Judge orders Steve Bannon to report to prison on July 1 for contempt of Congress sentence. And that article begins, a federal judge on Thursday ordered former Trump advisor Steve Bannon to report to prison on July 1 to begin a 4-month prison sentence for defying subpoenas from the January 6th committee after a higher court rejected his appeal. Bannon was found guilty on 2 counts of contempt of Congress in July 2022 for defying the committee's subpoenas, but his sentence had been put on hold while he appealed the case. U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols said Thursday he did not believe that the original basis for his stay of the imposition of Bannon's sentence existed any longer after an appeals court upheld Bannon's conviction. Bannon could still appeal Nichols' ruling that he must report to prison. Bannon was sentenced more than a year and a half ago, in October 2022, to 4 months behind bars, the same sentence currently being served by former Trump advisor Peter Navarro, Mr. Green Bay Sweep himself. You may recall Peter Navarro, my editorial edition. Peter Navarro, who also refused to comply with the January 6th committee subpoena. Quote, the defendant chose allegiance to Donald Trump over compliance with the law. Assistant U.S. Attorney Molly Gaston, who now serves on special counsel Jack Smith's team, told jurors during closing arguments in 2022. Bannon's sentence was put on hold pending appeal, and his lawyers made their case to a 3-judge federal appeals court panel in November. The appeals court upheld Bannon's conviction in May, and federal prosecutors soon filed a motion asking Nichols to order Bannon to report to prison. Federal prosecutors told Nichols there was no legal basis for the continued stay of the sentence after the federal appeals court rejected the appeal. But friends, Lady Justice is not yet done with Steve Bannon, because recall, Bannon is set to go to trial on separate state charges in New York later this year in a case involving allegations he defrauded donors who gave money to build a wall on the southern U.S. border. He's pleaded not guilty. Bannon had been charged in the same alleged scheme by federal prosecutors before Trump pardoned him just 2 weeks after the Capitol attack. Okay, friends, so can we do a quick justice recap? Peter Navarro criminally defied congressional subpoenas, thereby hiding from Congress and from we the people, incriminating evidence about Donald Trump. Navarro is serving a prison term presently. Steve Bannon committed the same crimes as Peter Navarro. He's heading to prison on July 1st. Donald Trump, convicted by a jury of 34 felony crimes. Crimes he committed to gain unfair advantage in the 2016 presidential election. Donald Trump is scheduled to be sentenced on July 11th. Does it feel like maybe justice is trending? Hope so, because, justice matters. Friends, we're getting there. Please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.